Greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. And as always, welcome back to our Around the Hearth discussions. This time, we are discussing some odd things. It's a little bit weird, but that's because we are doing April Absurdity. That is our theme this time. And as such, our theme is going to be taking us to odd places in our imaginations. But hopefully you will enjoy the trip. Before we get into that, it's just me and Squirrel right now, but we record these all at once, and maybe Dan will be able to bounce on, he said, and be here possibly for the third and fourth chat. But it's me and Squirrel right now, and we are going to be discussing Here There Be Food, which is a general points and chat, kind of getting our heads wrapped around the idea of the spaghetti noodles of and sauce of this whole thought process. So something like that. Before we get into that, it's introductions and announcements for you new people. So I'll start and let Skrat go next. I'm Adam L. Spain with the Inn of Planar Crossroads and the Gentle Voice TV. If you want to check out the Inn of Planar Crossroads, which is where you're watching this, you can see here on it's innofplanarcrossroads.com or theiopc.com. Either one of those should work. If one doesn't work, let me know. I tried the other one earlier today and it didn't work, so let me know. I might have to contact my hosts. But this is that. It is our very stripped down, but hopefully will be upgraded later this year landing page, where you can find all of our social medias, where you can find us on YouTube and how you can support YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and how you can support us. And like I said, the social medias. That's mainly what I have. For announcements in April, we should finish up this month the Adventure Academia Season 5. So hopefully you will be able to enjoy that and have been enjoying the lives that we've been doing. Those, if everything has been going according to my plan, those are on Rumble and then backloaded onto YouTube. But I'm not sure. I had to redo my OBS, so I'm not sure if that's going to be something that I get set in there. So that's kind of a speculative announcement for me. But otherwise, that's where it should be. That's mainly what I have for this first chat. Squirrel, Scraticus,
Yay.
What you got?
'Tis I am Skrat from the YouTube channel A Squirrel Plays. That's all I have as far as that goes. It's just a YouTube channel. And over there, I make videos, naturally, talking about the mechanics of storytelling, such as creating characters and world building, magic systems, which we actually talked a bit about here not too long ago. But I also dive into the mechanics of TTRPGs as well, both in the storytelling sense, but also actual gameplay mechanics. And I have been pretty blessed lately. Just the community has really reeled me in hard, and people have been reaching out like, hey, try this game, we want you to try ours, so it's been a lot of fun. Been getting to meet a lot of new people, been really nice. So the goal was to help other people come up with fun ideas and spur creativity, but kind of backfired and I got yeeted off into the tabletop world. So I don't know. It's working for both of us. Both sides, I guess. Couldn't ask for much more. But that's all I got.
Okie dokie. And I saw what was it? You did a live recently. TTRPG material, ? TTRPG workshop time.
Oh, yeah. I was taking old Mega Man Mavericks and turning them into TTRPG characters. That was fun.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch that one live, but I might have to go back and kind of skim through that one, dude. Because that's kind of what we do mess around with here. So, all right. So, that's myself and Squirrel, which means we have a little extra time for our shout-out. or Levi's shout out, which is technically not quite a shout out as much as, well, I mean, it is. It is. But we're going to be shouting out and doing something different than we've been doing before, at least this time, because we actually were reached out to by someone that reached out to Squirrel with RPG stories. So I've got that pulled up for the peeps to see. And it is over, I'm looking at it on Steam, and it is a 3D world builder virtual tabletop. And it has some nice, it's got a nice presentation in it. I like that you see that the tokens move and things along that line. Those moving tokens kind of add a little bit to it. But what really got me was that there's a way to import stuff into it. You're not limited necessarily to just the things you find there stock. Even though they have several different reference libraries, and they're starting a Kickstarter, which is one of the reasons they reached out. So we'll have a link to that down below, as well as a referral code. And they're setting those up for people to be able to use, and being able to import directly, I think, from Hero Muster or something along
Hero
that
Forge.
Hero
If
Forge.
you have paid for a model on Hero Forge, you just link your account and you just click a button and blip, it yeets it right in. So, but I think you can also, I should probably double check this before the next episode, but I think you can import your own custom models too that you have made. Or I guess, grab them from Thingiverse like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Those. Now, I've used Thingiverse in my line of work, but those are static models. Like, I don't know if anything's actually animated over those. Those are parts I actually printed and used. So.
Yeah. So those are the thing. Most of the stuff on Thingiverse isn't rigged or anything like that.
No, yeah, I didn't think so, but I didn't know if they had a whole other section that I wasn't aware of.
Right. But to be fair, you could rig it up yourself, not too terribly difficultly, if you're just trying to get a basic animation. And there are sites out there that will kind of do that for you. You just plug in the model you want, and then you plug in a basic animation. And as long as it's fairly humanoid, it does an okay job. So there are ways to do that. And I would venture to say that a lot of the people messing around with models, 3D models, are not going to be too unfamiliar with all of the things that go into the rigging and such. So that's I liked it quite a bit, and I liked that if you're familiar with WASD movement in your games, its shortcuts that it has are situated around a familiarity with that, which made my gamer brain have easier overlap than the shortcuts for something like Blender and those 3D modeling ones. So, yes, that is something that I think is very useful. That the way their shortcuts are currently laid out are conducive to someone who's played games before. Yeah. So, that's our shout out this time. Hopefully, you'll be able to check them out if you want to check them out. You can do so with a referral link down below. We should have that in the description. And you're not obligated to do anything, but if you want a 3D virtual tabletop, this is a nice option from what I'm seeing. And it's pretty easy to get used to. So, there you go. That's what we've got for this. You got anything else you want to say, Squirrel, before we continue?
No, I'll just add that so far from what I've seen, the community for that RPG Stories is pretty great. It's real tight-knit, and they're very, very much pushing the workshop feature of Steam where people can make their own stuff. It's really easy to slap some things together inside RPG Stories and make your own custom objects. I made an entire forge for a blacksmith, but you could just put all that together, make an assembly, and zip, yeet it up to the workshop so other people can use it. And the tagging system's been working pretty good for it so far. Still small, but it's a nice little community so far.
There you go. That'll be handy.
Deal.
Okie dokie. So that's our Levi shout out, or Levi spotlight. So again, check the referral code in the section below. The doobly-doo, I think is what it's supposed to be called, but you know what I mean. Check that out down below. And I think we're ready to go ahead and start in on our talking about food, and technically it's called Here There Be Food. So why don't you grab your preferred beverage, join us around the hearth while we discuss Here There Be Food. Skål.
Alright, I know it's not a gray squirrel, but he looked like he was having such a good time, I couldn't resist.
There you go. It's close. I'm starting the timer.
Oh.
Alright. So, food and being food, sentient food, is what we're talking about. And I'm not surprised this time that there's not a lot of sentient food TTRPGs. I'm simply not surprised. But we did get some key points from a guest who will be joining us later on in a different discussion. He's scheduled to be with us in Sci-Fi July in that chat, but he's already communicating with us in the chat, and he had some points and things. So we're going to bring some of those over and make sure to mention them before we get into the full general discussion. So, one of them, for the first one, he says, what kinds of weapons would food use? It's part of our key points. The same kind, or would they use spoons, forks, and knives for eating their foes? That's a neat option. Does food want to be eaten, or have a more grand goal? Reflavoring your abilities has never had so much meaning. Indeed. A fish using rice sushi armor, food holding in can armor, and then good way to make more PG some otherwise graphical things. How like they used to use robots. So
yeah, I saw that comment. I was thinking of Samurai Jack, where he's always cutting things up in the oil with.
But it's okay. It's completely PG. It's completely PG because it's all oil, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very true. That you can do a lot of things like that. And like I said, I've not seen specifically sentient food RPGs, but if you've seen some, or at least TTRPGs, if you've seen some, then you can let me know. There are a few hacks and stuff like that you can find for 5e. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, what was it? The one that Wendy's came out with.
Okay, I was just about to bring it up.
Yeah.
The Feast of Legends.
Feast of Legends, yes. I'll bring that up for people to look at the picture. It was one of those things where it was more of a hack than it was a full-on system of its own. It was kind of more like a setting book than it was.
But you could get buffs if you went to Wendy's and ate food like that. That was how it worked.
Oh, goodness. It was something.
Yep.
There was this kind of, I guess it was 2015 when, maybe it was 2000, it wasn't 2015. It had to be 2018 or 19 where maybe 2017 is when it started, but it really kicked up this fever for TTRPG stuff because of the success that Critical Role was initially having. And Wendy's was no slouch in jumping on that. I mean, Wendy's the marketing campaign for it, I mean, I can't argue with the marketing of it. It's pretty good marketing. And the art,
That's what got me.
Yeah.
I guess. It's like, dang, this was not just something they spat out real quick.
No, that was what surprised me. You would think if it was like this fast food chain that it was always like a fast food quality. No, this had a hardback publication.
When I was looking it up for this chat, I just went to Google Wendy's TTRPG. Like, you can get the whole book for free. It's right there, and I could have swore it was a lot older and just like a few pages, but it's a whole flipping book, and I was just like, wow, this was way more involved than I thought it was.
Yeah, I was like, man, this art looks like it's from D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how it is, people. You can see it on your screen. Order of the spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
And that art looks like it's straight from a D&D book. It looks better than some of the art they have in the new books. But
I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't hear me say it looks better. Oh.
That was right. Say it louder. I don't like D&D.
But this is definitely an option if you want to do this. Now, for us in this chat, I would go all the way with it, and which is one of the things I think. I'm not faulting Wendy's for the way they did it, though their adventure that they included with it was incredibly linear. I watched a review on it, and it is not a well-designed adventure. It's a neat setting. It's a unique setting, but it's not a well-designed adventure. If it had been me, I would have gone full bore with the sentient food part, because playing a Wendy's sandwich fighting against the Golden Arches, it would be fighting against the Big Mac Titan or something like that. That would have been hilarious. And a pretty big troll. So I could just... the jokes you could make fighting against the Taco Bell Kingdom or something like that. There's never enough bathrooms, or I don't know. But you could do a lot of fun things with it that you run into maybe some legal issues. They could use the word Big Mac or something like that. But doing some fun things like that is something you can do in this April absurdity of Here There Be Food. And going to tying into what we just mentioned before about the idea of keeping things more PG. This is a very fun thing you could do with kids, and say, your chicken finger, your not chicken fingers, but you could, but your breaded chicken warrior or something like that. And you don't really have to worry about thinking too hard about, well, what do these... You're not trying to fully break down in a societal commentary, usually, when using sentient food. The differences between peoples and stuff like that. You're just looking to play, I don't know, a piece of pie and a piece of pie warrior and a cleric of dark chocolate and stuff like that. You're just playing. It allows that fun and absurdity to be at the forefront. And I could see that being very fun.
I found this and put it together for you so you could easily put it on your screen here.
Okay.
So, guy did. There's more than that. Those are just the ones I grabbed. It's a series of food warriors and mages. He's got some pretty cool stuff. Yep, I really like the peanut, not just to follow the squirrel thing here, but I like how the shell is cracked and it looks like part of his face is coming out.
Oh yeah,
they really did. That's probably my favorite one. But
this is Artemy Maistinov, or it's at art_VEIDER on Instagram if you want to check him out.
Yeah.
I like his sushi warrior, his shrimp.
It's pretty good.
Tempura. That's pretty good. Sucker for the... I guess that's a Arcturus-inspired pizza warrior? Right there?
I don't know. I felt some of them were like, okay, here's just the whole food and it's the head. But like it kind of works for the burger because like his lettuce is the collar almost.
Yeah. Yep.
So some are better than others, but they're all pretty cool. Which I kind of had the question. So if we're doing this food thing, are we playing like individual ingredient, like the peanut guy up there, or do you actually get to be fully assembled food like pizza slice, or I think that's a dessert roll of some kind and a heavy suit of armor?
Oh yeah, an ice cake or something like that.
Yeah.
Ice cream cake. I think it's fun to. You can do it either way. I think if you have like Milkshake Warrior or something like that, is a lot more absurd and fun to play cooked foods than it is to play ingredients, because then how are you going to play a chicken? You just play a chicken, you know?
Yeah.
Or
it's true.
A piece of meat. Well, you're going to play a cow. If you're gonna play, you can't play a steak warrior, you have to play a cow. Because, you know. So, playing the actual ingredients is a lot, the cooked things is a lot more fun. Like a steak being, what if you played a steak warrior who started out this barbarian, and as he got more and more angry, he heated up. He slowly cooked himself till he was well done. That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny. So, I like that idea.
What is it? A good meat pun is rarely well done.
Rarely well done. That's true. Though it can really, really satisfy. Can really satisfy.
Well, see, I feel like maybe single ingredient wasn't the right word, but like one piece of steak is a single thing versus like the hot dog guy over there. He's assembled, right? He's a bun, he's a dog, and he's got the mustard squirt on him. That's what I was wondering.
Yep. Well, I think as long as it's something you can eat right then, like you can eat a steak, and it doesn't have to have more, but you could have more. That's where your flavoring comes in, or where your sauces comes in. And you can do so much weird and fun stuff with sauces, and sauces are not their own thing. They're something you put on, like those are your potions or ointments or something like that, your oils that you put on for better boosts and stuff.
So instead of a sorcerer, you can be a saucerer?
A saucerer, that's right. You can be a saucerer. Like the fry guy there, he can be the different dipping sauces are what he's casting out at people. That would be funny.
There you go.
I think these type of this silly mindset here is very useful for doing that with this one. Let me see. There was another point.
Well, while you're thinking of that, have you seen or playing anything on the game Grounded? This is the one where you play as the kids and you get shrunk down real small?
I have not played that.
Alright, so Honey, I Shrunk the Kids concept, right? They get shrunk down super small. One blade of grass is towering over them. You find different candies, and you use them for, like, elemental things. So, like, there's some mints that you find, and that you can make weapons with those that do ice damage. And I think the sour candies are really good against armor for some reason. And then there's a spicy candy, and that's your fire damage. So weave some magical candy into your game here.
Mm-hmm. And that really is an option, going a very focused route where you play just the Candy Kingdoms, or you play like just the Sushi Kingdoms to go to the Tempura Warrior there, or different things like that. You could totally do a completely themed around this type of food game. So that would be fun. You would have your candy warriors be like you said, the spicy ones, or the fire warriors.
Mm-hmm.
and you have your red hots and your stuff like that, your really heavy cinnamons.
Oh man, you need a setting. It's like one of those places that has two opposite restaurants squished together. The only one I can think of is the nastiest one in the world. It's when a KFC and a Taco Bell are in the same building, almost the same kitchen. They're just squeezed in there. But there was a buffet out here. Unfortunately, it closed. It was a sad day. But the left half of the buffet was soul food. The right half of the buffet was Chinese. It was so good. But I'm just saying, two clashing entities. That'd be an interesting setting. I don't know if they'd be fighting or banding together.
Well, see, you could do something that would be really fun is take a restaurant like that, take its layout, put it on a piece of paper, and then turn it into the landscape. So, the booths are mountains, and then you've got the valleys where the floor is, and you got your tables, which are the, mesas and stuff like that, and then you've got your different kingdoms in those two separate buffets you were talking about. And then there's this in-between place where they're either fighting over, or perhaps this is where the monsters are that eat them. The monsters that eat them. These big titans that they have to make their way around. So very Attack on Titan with food, I guess. So there you go. I guess
why your food burns you sometimes. It's fighting back. It's trying to stay alive.
That's what they say about pineapples. They're acidic, and we like it when they bite back.
Oh man, I love pineapples.
You like it when your fruits fight back. But yes, that would work. I think that would be fun to take. That way you don't have to build out an entire world. You just take the layout. And then the kitchen is like this forbidden place or something where you don't go, or maybe it's hell. I don't know, Hell's Kitchen. You could do that. So those are options. I think that we're seeing them use different. That was the point I was thinking of. We see these in the drawings right here that I've kind of left up. They're using real swords and stuff like that. You can do that. I think it's even, depending on how silly you want to get, I think it might be even better sometimes to have them actually use utensils, actually do that type of thing. That can add a lot of interest to the way you design your doodles and arts about them. So, taking this hot dog guy here, if he had right now he's got something that's just a staff that's magic and stuff, pretty cool looking. But if it was a spoon, just
a spatula
even, that's right, something like that would be pretty funny. That would be pretty good.
Actually, he needs what do you call it? It's like a fork, but it's only got two prongs. You usually use it to stab things like hot dogs and whatnot. That's what he needs.
Yeah. There you go. And then he can have the green lightning going in between.
Yeah.
That would work. I do like the tabard bearer there, incorporating that, because it does have a fork and a knife on there. He doesn't have a knife, but it has a fork and a knife.
Yeah.
You could bend it a little bit and give him a great Messer, which is just German for knife, big knife, Grand Messer. But I still like the butter knife idea. But doing that, and then it also gives you a little bit of freedom to play around with how you use your models. If you use models in your games, you can literally just pile dishes and be like, here's the castle. And that be your castle.
That's why I didn't wash the dishes, Mom.
Yeah.
I was using them. Yeah, I just thought of something. Probably like 30 years ago, McDonald's had these Happy Meal toys, but they were food. You know what I'm talking about? Like the steak dude, and he had the shades and the mustache, and there was a sandwich and a tomato, or it was an apple.
Yep, and the fry guy, they were Transformers.
Yeah, well, they just like their arms folded in and then supposedly became the food or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. You can break those out from your collection closet and just start using those for your minis.
Yeah, I'm sure that lots of people have like 30-something-year-old toys just laying around.
I actually had those until not too long ago. It's just like, I'm never going to do anything with these. I'm not going to try and sell them, so just gave them to somebody. But I had them for a long time.
Now you need them for your,
I know, now I need them.
your game. Oh no, you never thought you'd need them. Now you do. But you could.
I gotta go on eBay and buy them for like $100 each.
Yeah, that's how it happens. You get rid of your collectibles, and then you're like, man, I miss having that. And then you go look for it. It's like, they're one. How much?
Yeah. But
I think that's not a bad idea to use those, and just using a lot of that type of stuff, a lot of that extra setting stuff that you see is just discarded by a lot of people. You can find some, if you're willing to use a lot more imagination in the April Absurdity, you can have a lot of fun stuff come up with that and handle it. I think this, let me see, we're about halfway. Okay, so I'll keep mine. We'll do a final, we'll get to final thoughts then. Let me check the time. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get to final thoughts while we're talking. So do you want to go first with final thoughts or me?
I can start this one because I had an interesting idea.
Okay.
So, final thought, really just a question. What if you used the nutritional information for your stats? So like your proteins determines your HP. I'd like to think sugars had something to do with your magic reserves, but it would also somehow cut into your HP. But I don't know. I don't know the formula, but
you don't know how it would work, but you think it'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool. If you just did all the work to structure it and made it cool, it would be cool.
Well, you would definitely get some min-maxed food if you got your junk food chips in there and stuff like that.
I could just see, like, if you had that, and this was actually a game, I can just see, kids going around. Oh, let's look at the nutrition facts here. I gotta find some that's high in protein.
I need my high protein snack, Ma. Why are you hungry? No, I need the HP.
I need to make a tank.
We need a tank for tonight's game.
I don't know. I think that'd be kind of neat. It'd be fun to look at different foods, and then you're like, okay, here's this snack bar. That's what I'm going to play as because it has the stats I need.
Yeah. Well, that kind of goes into our next one with world building. You could build out racial kind of stats like they used to have for your hot dog guys and your burger guys. Or if you want to do specifically themed things, your higher, like you're talking about, your higher proteins, they can get more of this, an HP boost and stuff like that. And they can be, to keep it simple, so your math isn't in the thousands with the calories and such. You can keep it simple where it's like a +1 boost or a -1 on it. Different things can get those. So that's not a bad idea. I mean, if you really want to go whole hog with this, then you could play around with that quite a bit. That would be interesting. I'm on board with this idea.
Yeah.
Though I, like Skrat, do not necessarily know exactly how to implement it.
No, but I don't think it'd be too hard to come up with something.
Yeah.
Especially if you had, of course, I don't have a whole lot of tabletop experience yet getting it, but I haven't messed with one that had any kind of stamina system. But it's like maybe your calorie rating there could play into that stat.
Fair enough. I don't know. It would take a bit more thought. We'd have to look at that.
Yeah, alright. We're going to make the food system.
Well, after Skrat finishes making his squirrel system...
I'll say, you can't call it nuts. I already have that one reserved, so... Just have to call it food.
food and find an acronym for it. But it's like
Yep.
FUD or something. FUUD? I don't know.
Food.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a pretty good final thought. Let me see. My final thought was going back to the kind of graphic things being handled. It is interesting to try and play, since you're doing something absurd, you the player is the one that gets the enjoyment out of it. So playing a grim, dark game with these food characters would be quite entertaining. Can you imagine this type of thing happening in the 40K universe or Warhammer Fantasy or something like that? That would be hilarious. You would laugh and have a whole bunch of fun thinking about, let me see, these, since they've got him on here as a kind of tabard bearer paladin, these Warhammer style Space Marines burgers, and they're facing off against, I don't know, the Sushi Eldari or something like that. That would be just absolutely absurd and a whole lot of fun. And I mean, 40K is a big universe. They've got Hello Kitty. People have painted their Warhammer miniatures and Hello Kitty outfit stuff. So, I mean, it's not unthinkable. It's not unthinkable. You could do it. So, that was my final thought, is playing a grimdark, like playing the game seriously as the character. But you, the player, and your friends are just having a whole bunch of fun with it. So, that's mine. And based upon this, we are just slightly ahead of time. So, we did good, Squirrel.
We did. We ran a little long with the RPG story shout out, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. Because that was nice of them to reach out to us, as well as other things going on. So let's go ahead and get our final outro going. We hope you have enjoyed. We hope that you check out A Squirrel Plays on YouTube. I'll bring it back up. Check out A Squirrel Plays on YouTube. You can check out our shout out RPG stories. Referral link down below, Lord willing. And you can check out the End of Planar Crossroads.com or the IOPC.com. Both should work. And see all of our links and things we have going on. So, hopefully you have enjoyed. Had a nice time listening. Let us know if you actually played some grimdark food. Let's make
a comment.
That's the
comment.
Grimdark foodies. Grimdark foodies. So that way it's just a little bit off so someone can't guess it. Grimdark foodies. And it'll be extra hid because people skip the outro.
They do. They do the same thing to me. I'll be hiding jokes at the last couple seconds of the video and nobody comments about it. So. It's terrible.
It slews out. All right. As always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
All right. Now we can start.
Woohoo.
Okay. Ready?
You got your sand timer?
I do. It's right here. There we go. If we're on time with these, even close to time, I don't know that Dan's going to show up until the last two, maybe.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like an episode late or 2 or 3 or just part. Or...
let me see, it's already 8, so they've started their live, which means he would maybe be here for appetizing it for the 3 and 4. Okay. We'll see. We'll use Roderick's points for our key points this time. All right. I think we're set now. Ready?
Yep.